Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently making our way through this choke point. It's rather difficult to do. We're moving slowly and we're clumped tightly together, which is not ideal under any circumstances. Now the Epi Prime should not be what's moved right now. The Marksman SPG should continue to fire on this Black Knight, which is heavily damaged at this point, and we're definitely doing a lot of good splash damage up over here. That's going to hit the Archer more than hitting the Awesome, but I guess that's okay. Next up would be the Nidhogg, and I wouldn't mind bringing the Nidhogg into rear arc here. We would want our weapons bay to be in AGM missiles, and is that good at this range? It is. The Awesome has okay rear armor, but I want to fire it like this. We're going to soften the rear armor. I don't expect a kill out of this.
Here we go. Let's hit them hard.
We did get a double heat sink destroyed there and a structure explosion, so that's not too bad. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. So that Awesome has been significantly softened up. Our Epimetheus moves next, but this really does need to be reserved. We need to move some of these guys forward first. Same here. Well, actually, hang on. The Marauder can move up over here. We'll do that. So that is good. We'll fire on this Marauder, which is knocked down right now, but our hit odds are quite low. That's quite far out there, and we'll see what ends up happening there. Okay, that Marauder is gone. That is 3/4 of this first Lance eliminated. Beautiful.
Ready for order.
Now would be our Epimetheus, and that can position here. I'm going to reserve it again. Next up is our Avatar, which can finally make its way up over this direction and maybe make its way to somewhere vaguely useful. The Devastator is going to head up over here, and we can start finally getting out of this choke point. It's been a heck of a choke point, no doubt about it. The Devastator is going to position here, and now we can finally move this Epimetheus just to here, but we can move it at any rate. So that seems good. Next up is our Crossbow X. I'm thinking reserving is the way to go because of this Dragonfire here. If it moves into LOS down here, then we're going to want to be able to take advantage of that. And that's indeed exactly what it's doing. So that is good. I like that a lot. Our crossbow is next, and we'll position that about here. I would like to lob those missiles up over here, perhaps at the Black Knight. I feel like that is the best target. Okay, some internal damage there on that Black Knight. When does the Awesome move? The Awesome moves phase 17, and we move 18 in the Nidhogg. That's pretty ideal. So our Marauder is going to step forward as much as it can. This does get LOS on this Dragonfire. It's not great hit odds, but let's see what we get done there. A little bit of damage. I like it.
My mech's heating up.
So we soften up the right torso there. That's the one facing this way, which is not necessarily ideal, but it'll have to do. Now, I'm going to careful maneuver the Black Knight, and we're going to put him right up over here. We're just going to move him up this cliff. We can fire on the Dragonfire from here, and he'll be in a much better position next round. Okay, we just stray shot the building behind him 3 times, and we ended up destroying the building, but luckily that doesn't actually matter. So that is okay, and at this point, I want the Crossbow X to move up. We could take the side arc. That would be the left side, though. I feel like front arc is probably better for us. So we'll position it here. And this is our last round of improved MRMs. We'll also have a slight overheat, but let's see what happens. Okay. So some significant armor damage on that Dragonfire there, but of course it is reduced by half because he's in cover and braced. But that's okay. We definitely chipped down his armor a little bit there. The Rifleman, I'm going to careful maneuver up this way. It might have to careful maneuver again next round, but we got to get out of this choke point. We're starting to make our way out. This Black Knight is going to position here, which I really like, actually. That's really solid. Next up is going to be this Cyclops. Going for our Avatar. Okay, it got 2 hits. I don't care about that. It can do that all at once. Next up is our Nidhogg, and the Nidhogg is going to position somewhere around here-ish. Yeah, I don't love only having 6 evasive here. to be clear.
On my way.
I feel like that's a bit dangerous. But we gotta hit this Awesome's rear arc.
Firing.
All of that hitting the leg is not good.
I've got multiple weapons with no ammo.
That was very unfortunate that all hit the leg on the Awesome. So the Awesome moves instantly and positions itself here. It keeps its rear arc turned towards us. Okay.
Good
So
job.
that's noted. Our Archer at this point is going to step up over this way.
On
We
my
can
way.
fire on that Dragon Fire, low hit odds, or we can fire up over this way. Still low hit odds on everything. Let's try crit fishing this Black Knight here. We'd have to get through the armor in some of these locations, but we can see what happens. Not a lot,
Come on,
and I'm not
Warrior.
shocked about that.
It's go
It's
time.
very, very difficult to fight at this range. And we're having a real hard time moving as well. So the Archer's positioning there. It goes for that AoE attack again. That's reasonably okay.
Damage is light.
Barely
Yeah,
hit.
I'm not too concerned about that
How's
one.
it going?
So the SPG is absolutely going to drop its artillery on this Black Knight. It's still centrally located here. We're getting nice splash damage.
Heck no.
So let's see what we get done there.
Let's get this done.
Okay, we got a little bit of internal damage on that Awesome as well. But that Black Knight is in serious
order.
danger now. So our Devastator wants to position itself as best it can, which is going to be just
Moving
right here.
position.
It's not great for sure.
Standing
Our
by.
other Devastator needs to move up as
On
well.
the move.
That's the best we can do for now.
Commander?
And our Avatar can position right up over here in cover, firing on this Dragonfire. Low hit odds here, but that's not shocking. Failed our sensor roll, and Dan isn't a very good pilot, so he needs some practice. But we'll soften up that Dragonfire a little bit. Emphasis on the little. And we're still working on closing in
Commander.
here. So our Epimetheus is, honestly, I'm going to careful maneuver it, and we're going to position it here. We can fire on that Dragonfire, but I'm not going to. I don't think it's worth it with the risk of stray shot. Okay,
go!
so next round, phase 30 is when this Dragonfire is going to move. These guys have taken a lot of damage up here, no doubt about that. The Dragonfire closed in and fired on our Black Knight. It did get a stray shot on our Demolisher. That is noted.
Taking some heavy damage.
Okay, so next up is going to be our Crossbow X. The Crossbow X can position here,
Confirmed.
exiting the fire, and fire on the Dragonfire. This is exposing its relatively strong side to us. I'm not going to fire these medium lasers due to heat. Okay,
I'll break him in two.
so that Dragonfire should be relatively low in terms of its armor on that side now. Indeed it is. That Cyclops is firing on our Nidhogg, and it got a lot of hits there. This is not shocking considering we have 6 evasive. Okay. Phase 25, they're going to move their Black Knight. It steps forward and positions there. Next
Commander?
up is our Archer. The Archer is going to continue to advance, and what do we want to fire on? 5.4? These are all very low hit odds. I'm going to fire on this Black Knight, and we're going to crit fish a little bit, but this is a strong side presented.
Right, Commander.
We're probably not going to get very much done.
Come
Yeah,
on,
as
Night
expected.
Warriors. It's go time.
Okay, so next up is that Awesome. It positions there. That's actually really solid
Ready.
for us. I like that. So the crossbow is going to make its way a little bit forward here, and I'd like to continue to fire on the Awesome potentially. Honestly, though, the Dragonfire is the place to go.
I cut.
So we'll fire on that, getting whatever we can done there in terms of armor damage.
I'm ready.
And then the Black Knight is going to need to advance forward out over here. We can finally start to get some hit odds, some real actual hit odds. And let's fire on that Dragonfire. Nice. We broke through the armor. That's very solid. Yeah, that looks good. Next up is our Marauder, which is going to position here. This is still probably going to be crappy hit odds. Yes. Yes, it is. We're going to not fire these medium lasers, especially not the ER medium, and just do something like that. Okay. Very minor damage to that Dragonfire, but we did manage to tag it, so that is all good. Next up
Standing
is
by.
our Rifleman, which the Rifleman can't go anywhere. We're just going to careful maneuver it
Position
up over
confirmed.
here and brace it. There we go.
Waiting
And
for
then we
order.
have our Nidhogg. Which, this is the Black Knight, this is the Awesome. So I want to put the Nidhogg about here.
Hitting
We're going to
out.
fire the Arrow 4 into the rear arc here. We're out of bombs, right? Yes. So we're just going to fire the Arrow 4 into the rear arc of this awesome.
Taking the shot.
Nice. Torso destruction and a lot of good
Show them
splash
what
damage
you
here.
got.
I like it. And actually, the Black Knight pilot ejected. So that's solid. Very, very good there. They're firing on our crossbow. I like this. That's a whole lot better than if they were trying to fire on our Nidhogg.
Reporting major armor loss.
Because that could be a big problem at this point.
Waiting for orders.
So at this point, the Marksman SPG probably continues to hit the awesome for the purpose of crit fishing.
Here you go.
What do we get there?
Mech warrior.
It's a decent
Show 'em
hit.
what you got.
We make the awesome unsteady. Unfortunately, we can't really see what's going on with the awesome, but we can finally bring the Devastator in over here and bring its guns to bear on this Dragonfire. And that is quite a lot of damage. The Dragonfire is gone. So that is one Lance eliminated and 25% of the second Lance eliminated, with significant damage to at least 2 of its mechs. Now I'm going to careful maneuver the Epimetheus up over here.
Position confirmed.
We just need to get up this cliff.
Aye, aye.
Okay, so next up is our second Devastator, which is just
On the
going to
move.
position about here.
Waiting
Then we've
for
got our
orders.
Avatar, which is going to head forward as much as it can.
Sprinting.
There we go. And now we've got next round. So next round is our Crossbow X. The Crossbow X is running pretty hot here, so I'm just going to move it forward here and brace it and let it sink some heat. Phase 25 is when they're moving now. That's going to be the Cyclops. Okay, they're firing on our crossbow. That's fine. I don't mind that. They can do that all they want. Completely and totally okay.
Waiting for orders.
Our archer is going to not step forward here in any meaningful way. I'm going to careful maneuver it up, though. I want it to be
Affirmative.
moving forward in some way here. And we're probably going to try to crit fish the awesome. It's really far out, and hit odds aren't great, but let's see what we can get
Firing
done
on
there.
target.
A decent amount of internal hits. I think that transferred to the CT armor, though. Not really doing too much to that leg. Okay.
Good to go.
That's absolutely fine. The rifleman is going to careful maneuver out this way, which apparently is necessary. Okay,
Yes,
and then the Black Knight is able to advance up over here. Okay. Next up, they're going to move their awesome, positioning it there and firing on the Nidhogg. Hitting 2 PPCs there. That's gross.
My armor's getting stripped off.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to disengage the Nidhogg at this point. That's
Good to
fine.
go.
So the crossbow is going to step up over here, get rid of a bunch of that instability, and we can fire at the weak side of this awesome. I think that's absolutely something to do here. At the awesome. There you go. And what are we wanting to fire here? Well, we can fire exactly like this. We'll be okay.
Target acquired.
We'll run out of listen kill missiles,
get this
and we
done.
only hit 2 of those, which is sad, but
I'm out of long
not
range
the end of the world. Okay,
Receiving you.
next up is our Marauder, which is just going to step forward and sink
Hold.
heat. Okay.
How's it
Then,
going?
of course, we've got our Marksman SPG, and that still has 14 artillery rounds left. Let's continue to hit this awesome as the highest threat to us right now.
Copy that. It's go time.
Okay, that did a little bit of internal damage to the awesome, but it also hit this archer. Now, the archer is going to position there and fire on our Nidhogg. We still have a good amount of AMS, so that's okay. But the Nidhogg definitely needs to disengage here. It's got to head down this direction. We can't move it until next round. That's
Receiving
fine.
you.
So the Epimetheus Prime is going to start... Sprinting is not helpful here. We're just going to
Ordnance
position it
received.
here. There we go.
Let's
And
do
now
this.
we can move the Nidhogg. So I'd like to put the Nidhogg about here, but that's not an ideal location. This is really not ideal. Maybe if we were to put it about here, that would be a little bit safer. We would want its rear arc to be exposed, ideally, at this point, which is, you know, not very ideal. We may just want to run it away. This is an interesting position. If only we actually had the ability to hit these. They should definitely be within that, right? This should be lying to us. not there, not there, but here should be okay. We should be able to hit the awesome from
Roger
here.
that. No shooting,
We can't,
just
though.
running.
I don't know why. This is definitely within the arc. We should be able to do that. That sucks. Okay.
Ready for orders.
We know that that's not reliable, though, so it's not shocking, necessarily. The Devastator is going to move up here, and
Commander.
our second Devastator is going to move up here.
Confirmed.
But we're still trying to close in through this forest.
Good to go.
This Avatar can position here, and we do get some LOS here.
Moving fast.
We can fire on that Awesome or on the Archer. Hit odds are higher on the Awesome. We'll see what we get done here.
Roger that. We can do this.
Very little. We got a lower leg destruction,
Critical
but
hit,
that was
Commander.
not much happening. Although the Awesome pilot did panic and eject, so the Awesome is out of here. Next up, they still have that Cyclops and that Archer. They're firing on our Archer, which is completely okay.
Minor damage, Commander.
Absolutely 110% fine.
Talk to me.
Next up is our Crossbow X, which is going to move up somewhere over here. Although I'm thinking about reserving it until after this Archer moves. It might be out of range, but let's see. For now, I do want our Archer to careful maneuver. And we'll position it there. We can then fire on the Cyclops or this Archer. Probably we should fire on this Archer and just start softening his armor. This isn't going to do a lot. We're going to be out of ammo very quickly. Yeah, we have no standard ammo. This would be our last round of LRMs. I'm going to hold them.
Commander.
Okay. This rifleman is finally able to start advancing,
Roger.
and we'll get going on that.
Awaiting
This
orders.
Marauder is absolutely going to advance up over to here,
Roger that. Full speed.
and we'll continue to advance on this as quickly as we can.
Yes,
Now, the
Commander.
Nidhogg absolutely needs to attempt to withdraw. So we're going to move back over here, 12 evasive. We've got our AMS. We're turning our back to them. Hopefully that keeps our Nidhogg
I'm
alive.
ready.
The Black Knight is going to advance up over here. Honestly, the Nidhogg did a really good job. It eliminated the Black Knight and the Awesome basically on its own. So that's really solid. If we can just disengage it from here, I'm happy. The Archer is going to fire on this Devastator. Okay. Beautiful. The Nidhogg should be fine now.
Got lucky.
Barely a scratch.
So next up is our
Damage is
crossbow,
light.
and this still needs to
Damage is
careful
light.
maneuver its way up this cliff. And from here, we could consider firing at these guys. Honestly, the hit odds aren't there. I'm going to conserve the ammo.
Yes, Commander.
The SPG, on the other hand, is absolutely going to be firing on this Archer. A mediocre shot, but it will
Hit
do
hard.
some armor damage.
I've got your back.
So that's okay. And then the Crossbow X is going to sprint up to this position.
Roger that.
That's the best we can do for now.
Awaiting orders.
Gonna take this Devastator out over here. And at this point, the
Waiting for orders.
Avatar is going to position here.
Affirmative.
We're going to start firing on this Archer, although hit odds are low here. And is this just because Dan sucks? I mean, he failed his sensor roll, so yeah. I'm just gonna fire the UAC in X1 mode here. Hit odds are low.
Got it.
We did manage to hit that. So that's pretty good. Okay, next up
back.
is our other Devastator, which I'm also going to take up
Confirmed.
over this way. Cool.
Waiting for orders.
Then the Epimetheus, which can head up over here. It has no targets, so for now, that'll do.
It's go time.
Then is our crossbow. And the Crossbow X is going to position here inside arc of this Archer, and we've got a pretty decent shot on it. It's relatively softened on this side, and let's see what we've got.
For house around.
Panic level critical on that Archer. He does get to move very soon. Okay. They're firing on our Avatar here. That's fairly irrelevant. And then they're going to get to move their Archer quite soon.
Commander.
Our Archer moves now, and is this a worthwhile shot? This guy's panic level critical. But I'm going to say no.
Orders.
The Black Knight is going to make its way up over here
No
as
shooting,
best it
just
can.
running.
We're still slowed down in this giant forest. And this Marauder is going to head up over here. I like this positioning. We can pot shot this and see what we get done. Maybe we cause him to panic and eject. We did not. He is unsteady, but he gets to move instantly, so that's not really a concern. He hides behind the rock there, and then fires on our Devastator. Sure. Not a big concern
Barely
there.
hit, Commander.
Taking minimal damage.
Next up is our crossbow, and the crossbow is not
out.
really in a spot to take any shots here.
Standing by.
The rifleman, of course, is not in a spot to take a shot. We'll position it here for now and just move it forward. The Nidhogg is disengaging, so we're pulling this back.
Full speed. No
The
time.
Nidhogg has very little left it can do. It burned basically all of its weapons. It does still have the snub-nose PPC, of course, and it also, I believe, still has a couple of Arrow
retrieving you.
4s, but for now, this'll do. I don't think it can fire them indirect,
Understood. Moving fast.
so we'll just position here for now.
Bye.
The SPG is going to continue to hit that archer. The pilot is likely to
Roger
eject
that.
fairly soon with this sort of bombardment.
Hot damn, let's do this.
But he didn't eject
Good
there.
to go.
Okay. So the Avatar is going to dip up into the primary. There we go. And then we're going to want to get the secondary as well, right? So we want to head
Standing by.
our Devastator up this way, although we can't
Affirmative.
go very fast in all this forest. So that is fine.
Ready for
The
orders.
Epi Prime is going to head up this way as well. Okay. So there's the primary objective.
Good work.
And we're going to get the secondary fairly soon. In theory. They're continuing to attack our Avatar.
The asset.
That's expected.
Under attack.
Yes, I'm aware, Darius. That's fine. It's just an indirect shot.
Orders.
It's not a concern. We're going to move the crossbow forward as much as we can, which is just right here. Okay.
Talk to me.
And now our crossbow X is going to head up over this way.
Ready to
We're
run.
flanking around this side. That looks good.
Commander.
Our rifleman is going to head forward out over here.
Acknowledged.
Good to go.
Our archer is still not interested in firing at
Right,
this range,
Commander.
unless we get a direct LOS, almost certainly.
Waiting for order.
Nidhogg is withdrawing,
Roger. Full speed.
so that all looks good. Next up, they're going to move one of these units, and it is the archer. They're firing on the Devastator. Okay. That's reasonably fine for the moment. So no problem there right
Awaiting
now.
orders.
This Marauder is going to head up over here.
10-4.
Commander,
Our Black Knight is going to continue to advance
on the move.
to
Full
about
speed.
there or so.
Hey,
And then our SPG is going to drop artillery on this archer.
taking the shot.
That is not a good shot.
Give him everything you got.
We got a little bit of damage in there, I suppose, but that was not a great shot. That's for sure. That archer's armor is very, very low. It can't take too much more of that. Our Epi Prime is heading up over here,
Affirmative.
and we're just slowly
orders.
closing in out over this way.
On my way.
Pretty soon, we're going to have LOS out over here. So the Avatar is going to position up over here,
Sprinting.
Yes, Commander.
and then the Devastators are continuing to flank
Copy
out
that.
over this way. Next round.
Let's go!
It's taking us so long to move. No doubt about it. This is our evac zone. So the Avatar just took one missile there. That's not a concern. Who fired that? Was that the Cyclops moving? Yes, that was the Cyclops.
How can I help?
Okay. So the Crossbow X wants to get LOS out over here. It's
Copy
very
that.
close. Next round, it'll get LOS. Unless the Archer dips out over here, I suppose, which it could, and it is. Remarkably. It's going for a Marauder, and it'll get a number of hits there. That's fine. We're actually happy about this. Absolutely okay. They have no
Standing by.
follow-up, and we can position ourselves up over here,
Move.
almost in LOS of that Cyclops. Almost.
Yes, Commander.
Next up would be our Rifleman, which does actually get a shot on that Archer from here.
Hitting
It's
up.
in fire, so, I mean, heat is going to be a concern, but we just need to
Target
pot shot at
acquired.
this thing.
Hey,
Nice, we hit two of those.
Solid connection on that one.
That Archer pilot is not going to be happy with his decision.
Waiting for orders.
So next up, our Archer is going to
Got it.
position here, just checking these hit odds, not worth firing. We're going to brace that for now.
Reporting.
And our Marauder is going to position
On my
right up
way.
over here, fire on that Archer, light him up. some additional damage there. I'm actually surprised that this guy hasn't ejected yet, to be honest. Our crossbow is going to move up. We might as well fire in Sam mode here on this archer, and we're just crit fishing at this point. So in Sam mode,
Roger.
let's fire this.
Goddamn,
That's an arm destruction. Okay.
Target's taking a critical hit.
But that archer is still there, remarkably.
Good to
So
know.
the Nidhogg is just chilling down here.
Stabilizing
That's
and
absolutely
bracing.
fine. The Devastator is going to swing out up over here.
Acknowledged.
We don't quite have LOS on that Cyclops from this position either.
Aye, aye.
I kind of expected to get it there. Gonna put this Devastator here for now.
Commander?
Our Avatar is going to head up over
time.
here. And we're just closing in on these guys. I actually want to fire our SPG at this Cyclops and start getting it chunked down a little bit in terms of its armor.
Let's go.
So there we go. A slight softening on that Cyclops. Not much,
Order.
of course. And our Epi Prime is going to head up over here for now. Okay. Phase 27 is our Crossbow X. This archer is completely dead
Aye, aye.
at this point. This is our last round of MRM stuff.
Roger.
So we'll light that up. There we go.
That's one less hostile on the
Beautiful. So with the archer gone,
SRMs
next
are
is the
out.
Cyclops. He gets to move right now. He heads out over here. Fires indirect on our Avatar. Okay. I feel like he could have done a lot to our Demolisher, but he chose not to,
Let's do this.
intriguingly. The Rifleman actually has LOS here,
Order received.
which is surprising.
Here we
And
go.
let's light up that Cyclops if we can. Yeah, we managed to get at least one PPC in there. I like it.
Pretty damn hot.
So next up would be the Black Knight, and we'll just position it right here. Light him up in X2 mode, I think.
Roger that.
Yeah, we missed one of those. Oh, we missed both. Sad. But we got a little bit of damage to him. That'll be fine.
Standing
Next up is our crossbow. I don't think we get an LOS
by.
here.
I copy.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth firing. Well, we're in SAM mode.
Roger
Let's
that.
fire in SAM mode.
Hell yeah.
AMS. Okay, noted. I mean, we're basically out of missiles, so it doesn't really matter.
Commander?
Our archer is going to just move up,
Right,
and I'm not
Commander.
going to fire any of these Artemis missiles.
Receiving
Not at
you.
this point. This Marauder can move up over here. We don't quite get LOS there, but it's very, very close. Beautiful.
Standing by.
And the Nidhogg's not going to do anything of note. The
Need something
SPG
to-
is going to continue to fire on this Cyclops.
Got it.
A mediocre shot,
Hell
but
yeah.
it'll shred a little armor off anyway. Next up would be our Epi Prime, which is heading out over this way as quick as it can, which isn't the fastest thing in the world.
Commander?
Then we've got our Devastators, and I'm going to put one Devastator here. We're going to fire on this Cyclops, probably in precision mode. There's no reason not to.
Knowledge.
Okay. So, decent damage to the Cyclops.
Good to
The
go.
Avatar is going to position in this cover,
Coordinates
and we're going to
received.
fire on this guy. Wow, these hit odds are really low. At this range, we failed our sensor roll again. Okay, Dan, you got to work on your sensor rolls. Well, we got a little bit of damage done to the Cyclops anyway. Heavy on the little.
Commander?
Next up is our Devastator, and I'm going to position that
Going
right
to full
here,
throttle.
light him up in precision mode.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
So that's another good chunk of damage there, but that Cyclops is still pretty healthy, to be honest. And he'll get to move right now, phase 27. So let's see what he decides to do here. He can potentially do a lot of damage. Or he can run away, expose his rear arc to us, and fire indirect at our rifleman.
Armor holding.
I guess that works. I don't know why this is the decision he
Document.
made, but this is the decision he made. The crossbow X is going to position here. And
Receiving
next
you.
up would be our rifleman, which is just going to step forward and sink
On
his
the
heat.
move.
We no longer have an LOS over
to
here.
go.
The archer is going to step forward.
my way.
This is fine for the moment.
Waiting for orders.
And our crossbow is going to
Got
step
it.
forward as well and brace. Okay. Next up would be our Marauder, which wants to position up over here. That's no longer going to get an LOS this round.
Yes, Commander.
But the Black Knight will. So we'll position
On the
that
way.
right up over here and fire on this Cyclops. I want this to be in binary mode.
Got it, Commander.
So a structure exposure on the Cyclops there.
All right, folks. Let's
And
get
he's
this
no
done.
longer in a good position. For sure.
Board a critical hit.
Excellent. Also, what is the local
Yes,
government
boss.
doing with all this clan tech anyway?
Good to
That's
go.
that's an interesting question for sure. We'll move our Epimetheus up, and we've just about got this
Waiting
under
for
control.
orders.
The SPG is going to continue to shred this Cyclops as best as we can. We're also kind of crit fishing at this
Engage
point.
target. That one's gonna
Armor
leave a
destruction,
mark.
nice. We did a little splash damage to our Marauder.
Ready
That's
for orders.
acceptable. Gonna put the Devastator right
Position
here.
confirmed.
Light him up, even in precision mode. 34.5. Failed our sensor roll. Okay.
Everything I've got.
Okay, that AMS definitely doing some work there. No doubt about that. But that Cyclops is not doing well. Our other
Standing by.
Devastator is going to move up and position
Moving to
itself
position.
here, taking the same shot. All of that armor damage there. Okay. So that's a lot of leg damage. No doubt about that.
Waiting for
The
orders.
Avatar is going to position right here.
Moving
Hopefully
to
this
position.
time we didn't fail our sensor roll. Easy M shield. Yeah, we didn't fail our sensor roll that time, so that's something anyway. So those LRM-10s are now gone, and he's not AMSing these MRMs, so
There's work
there's
to do.
something there. I like it. Very, very little left on this Cyclops. Let's go. He gets to move still in phase 29. This pilot has really, really early initiative. He's positioning here to try to hide from us. Okay.
got your back.
The Crossbow X is just going to position right up over here. I'm actually going to sprint to guarantee that we're within the target zone. And we're going to position here and fire the medium lasers at the rear arc. I mean, it's a fresh rear arc, but we'll do that.
Copy that.
Okay, so we got some
Host
additional
Toronto.
damage there. And that should get us the target zone dealt with. Excellent.
Waiting for
We're
orders.
going to walk forward with this archer.
Affirmative.
Not going to fire it. Honestly, we kind of don't want to end the mission this round because I'm not 100% convinced that we are going to get the target zone without immediately extracting. So we could definitely do that, but I'm not going to end this round. I'm just going to have everybody... You're going to brace for now. We're going to just move into
Holding
position and extend this one additional round.
Order.
That's the idea here. So we're going to move the Black Knight up.
Roger that.
We're going to
Good to
brace
go.
the Nidhogg. We're going to
Waiting
get
for orders.
our Devastators up over here. But I'm not going to take this shot. We're just going to
Roger that.
position it here. And then we're going to
Standing by.
move our Epimetheus up to about here.
Roger.
There we
Full
go.
speed.
And our Avatar is going to position here and sink its heat.
What's
The
up,
SPG
Bob?
is not going to fire.
Hunkering down.
And the Devastator is going to move up to
Roger
here.
that.
There we go. We have the secondary asset now. And this guy moves in phase 28, which is the same round as our crossbow. He's going to move up over here and try to... I thought he was going to rear arc attack us, but he's just chilling.
How can I help?
Okay. Do we want to take a rear arc attack on this guy? Well, we actually can't. We can take a front arc from here, and that's what I'm going to do. Give him a
Copy
kick.
that. To hell with the weapons.
We missed our kick.
Follow my
That's
lead.
unfortunate.
Lucky bastard. Got away
But we
free.
managed to hit both of those lasers, and that'll do some amount of damage to this guy.
Toronto.
Now, he's exposing his strong side out over here, but honestly, his strong side isn't that strong, so it should be okay. We may as well fire our final round of Artemis missiles
Affirmative.
and shred off some of that armor. Also triggering that AMS, which will be
All
useful
out
later.
long-range missiles, Commander.
Yep, you are indeed out of LRMs.
Yes, Commander.
Same story with the crossbow here. We're going to fire whatever we can. We're going to fire in SAM, we're going to fire in Standard, and that's all we have. So we don't have enough missiles for this whole salvo.
Locked on target.
Okay. We'll just shred down that armor a little
I'm
bit
out
here.
of LRM.
There we go. And
Await
next
the
up, the Marauder will close in over
New
here.
order
And this
confirmed.
is going to do a lot of side arc damage into its strong side, to be sure. But its strong side will not last very much longer.
Yes. Give them
Fantastic.
everything you've got.
This definitely was a longer deployment than I anticipated, but we haven't taken all that much damage, to be honest.
Roger.
It just took us a really long time to get through the choke point down here, but we did manage to do it in the end. So the Black Knight wants to position somewhere around here,
Heading out.
and we'll fire in binary laser mode, for sure. Light him up.
Locking target. Someone let me
And
borrow
engine
their
destruction.
pom-poms and skirts
Beautiful.
or something. Damn
So
it,
that'll
that
be
ain't
us out of here, at long last. So we took a fair amount of armor hits, but they were pretty low amounts of armor hits. I think we'll definitely be able to deploy yet again this month, but that wasn't difficult because of the OP4 there. That was difficult just because of the terrain. Like, we had a really, really bad drop point, and I feel like if we had deployed on the other side, it would have still been very bad. It would have taken us a very long time to get there anyway. So I think the only thing that we can say there is the planetary government chose their base locations quite well. Good for them. Absolutely. So we got 718,000 for that. Everything took some amount of damage, but realistically, it's not too bad. We got a Dragonfire and an Owens part. That's not particularly fantastic either. But we did get a decent amount of pay, considering how much damage we took, which was fairly minimal. Yes, the Nidhogg took a lot of damage, but the Nidhogg gets instantly repaired, so we don't actually care about that. That seems absolutely a-okay. So, Yang, what's the damage? I'm expecting it to be roughly 100k-ish. And in terms of days, maybe like 12, according to Yang. But the number will actually be lower than that. What do you think, Yang? Any moment now. There we go. 125 and 13 days. Do it. The actual number will be lower than 13 days. So we're definitely going to be able to deploy this month tick. Yeah, none of these are particularly strenuous repairs. This is pretty much what was expected. So that is phenomenal. We'll get these done rather quickly. This will be done in more like 7 days. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.